Greetings and welcome to your Mindfulness Mastery podcast. I am your host and trusted guide, Tawnya Love. I am an intuitive, shamanic, angelic wayshower, healer, light worker, and author. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share this podcast. To schedule any one-on-one sessions or group healing events, you can visit and book your sessions on my divinely inspired website at mindfulnessmastery888.com. Thank you so much for your presence and for your support. Now sit back, relax, and open yourself to receive. All right, welcome back to Mindfulness Mastery 888, Real, Raw, and Truthful. I am host Tawnya Love, here with my co-host and soul sister, Cindy Campbell.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy, guys. So we have been doing a few segments here of this Angelic Auric Clearing as our topic. And on the last one, we were talking about our somatic breathwork experience that we did, like a journey of, it was probably an hour plus of deep breathing. And I was telling Cindy when I reached over, I was like holding her hand at a moment that I felt guided to. And she kind of squeezed my hand. And it was almost like, because I've actually been next to friends of mine when they're having children, and I've had children, but like holding their hand and supporting them as they're pushing and going through that. With my sister, I was there. And so it felt kind of that feeling like I'm holding her hand as she's doing this breathing. And I said, Cindy, it's like you're not giving birth to a child, but you're rebirthing yourself. And it was very much an awareness I had, like she's becoming a new version. And an older self is falling away.
Yeah.
And she was saying today that she feels kind of like, what's my name? Who am I? And I go, that's beautiful, because you're in that void. You're in that space where you aren't identifying with an old self, and it can feel foreign. I really feel like it's kind of like, in a human perspective, like what it would be like to be a caterpillar in a cocoon, in a chrysalis. Like, what the fuck? Who am I? Why am I in here? It's so tight. It's so dark. It's so squishy. I feel weird. What's happening to me? Right? And then eventually you're in there long enough, and then it's so tight in here. I got to get out of here. I'm going to freak out if I don't get out of here.
Yes.
And then you start pushing and you pop out your wings, knock off that shell, and you're like, what the fuck? I can fly. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Whereas when you went in, you were a caterpillar just crawling in and really exhausted and thinking you're going to just take a little rest.
Yeah.
And so isn't that so symbolic of humans when they're going through a rebirth, that state of transformation and metamorphosis?
Yes.
Like everything in our soul is calling us to go and just rest.
Yeah.
And turn to mush, go into the dark, get uncomfortable.
Yep.
And shed the old self completely.
Yeah.
So that we can come out and fly.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so I felt like that was kind of beautiful.
Yes. And that's what it felt like walking through a doorway. And I was even getting visions of like things that happened in the past. And it was like, oh, that feels like it's just falling away. Like it's been 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We're dumping that.
Yeah.
It's like throwing out old clothes to Goodwill that actually, except for, I'm going to just say, don't give it to Goodwill. Take it somewhere where they actually help humans.
Yeah.
And they don't try to profit off of it and cost more than another. Anyway, there's a little small segment on that. but yeah, it's like you're trying to just donate some old energy.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of emotion about it. It's just like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
Dump.
Yeah. And don't be afraid of what comes up. I know you've talked about this. But I know like we're talking about like a new version of me, and that might scare some people. I have asked for this.
Yeah. You're doing it all for yourself. Everything is coming to you for you.
Yeah.
From you.
Yes.
It's all you.
It's all.
So that gets me onto the point of why I wanted to have another segment.
Okay.
Because something that came up for me when we were in that experience and we're just inward is, so I was imagining all these different things. Like literally, I've jokingly said I could write a book or a fucking insane movie of my life. Like where people would be like, what the shit?
Yep.
Like even a couple of the things would seem like what the shit. But if you put the whole life, it's kind of like, beyond,
Yes.
beyond crazy.
Yes.
As far as different things that I've gotten through and learned from and experienced and survived. But as I was seeing those people and just forgive anyone that came up in whatever organic way, I all of a sudden I thought this show I really highly recommend people watch more than once because it's so chaos if you first watch it, called Midnight Gospel. It's on Netflix and the animation's wild, I'll just say. And so the first time through, I watched it, I listened to it. I'm kind of like, what the hell? And then the second time through, I turned it on, but I laid back and just kind of closed my eyes and listened more than watched because I feel like you get something from both. But that being said, there was a certain episode, I wish I knew it exactly right now to say, but there's an episode where he goes to a planet to interview because he's always going to some planet to interview people. And he goes to interview this guy who's in prison. And basically, the prisoner is on a planet where they can't die. Like they will just come right back after they die. And their whole thing is that they have to learn what their lesson is. And so by the end of it, he realizes like he's stabbing his inmate to get out. He's shooting the guard. He's doing all these things, right? Each time, and then he dies and nope, start over, redo. And then he does more stuff. Nope, do it again. Kind of like Groundhog Day. Yeah. And eventually, by the end, he realizes there's I can't remember the exact words, but it's something like, I realized I thought I was pissing in my inmate's eye, and I realized I was pissing in my own goddamn eye. And it's such a goofy show, but so deep of like spiritual truth. Yes. It's really amazing. Yes. But the part where the inmate realizes like everything I'm doing is to myself. And so what came to me when I was in that state and I'm forgiving people and releasing and all the things that have happened, I literally, it's so wild how my mind works, but I even saw like, so I really love Taylor Swift. I've loved her since she's been a singer, like when she was a young girl. I've always seen that potential and power in her. And I've just enjoyed watching her evolution and her empowerment as a female and how she says what she fucking needs to say to people. And then I kind of like, there's like most of us that are not insane, don't really enjoy Trump, right? So there's like the Taylor versus Trump is what I saw in my mind's eye. But it was like, it's all you. It's all us. So like where we want to love someone or we want to love to hate them, it's all us. So like Trump kind of represents the extreme darkest parts of the psyche, right? So it'd be like if we gave a human a role of Satan, he'd probably get the role out of the two of them. She'd be more like the empowering angel, earth angel, right? But the energies are all God playing different parts and it's all us. And so I saw like, this is all me seeing other parts of me. And so Taylor is a part of me. Yeah. Trump's a part of me. Cindy's a part of me. My kid's a part of me. The neighbor down the street, the crackhead. All a part of me. Yeah. And I do understand this concept already, but I feel like I was guided to talk about it because I've had that knowing. And this is why I've said so many times when people lash out, if they're lashing out at someone, they're at war with themselves. Because a healthy, aligned individual doesn't lash out at people. Yeah. They're not hateful and they're not trying to cause trouble. But someone who doesn't feel good about themselves and who's lashing out at themselves will look for ways to project and they'll lash out at others. Yeah. So when you look at someone like Trump, he's not at peace with himself, clearly. And he's lashing out at everyone around him. Everyone's his enemy because he's not at peace within himself. Yeah. And so he will never achieve anything to make up for that lack of peace. Yeah. That will be his soul's lesson to figure out. But it was just something like seeing how every piece of it, I can just visualize and hold this energy where I am love and I am attracting love. And if it isn't love, kind of like in the vortex, like I can go, contrast, not yet recognize that they're love, but I can move away from that. I don't have to stare at it and argue with it or be mad at it. Right. I can just go, it's a piece of like source God that's over there kind of lost in shadow temporarily. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But it was this very complex, like, it's all you. All of it is us.
Yeah.
And when we can see it, and I feel like the reason Spirit's guiding me to say this is to help people really open their minds to that concept, because when you really understand it, you would not want to harm anyone. You would not believe anyone's below you or above you.
Yeah.
Everyone would be worthy. No one would be unworthy. But that in the journey of that, there might be boundaries that are needed, because like I might know that, but is everyone understanding that? And so some people, you just, like Christ, I feel, was teaching, and I'm not a religious person or a Christian person. It's more me understanding what Christ, the non-distorted religious perspective of Christ, like it's not distorted in me, was the saying, like, turn the other cheek, was, oh, contrast. Don't look there. Look over here. Oh, look right here. Like, what is it you're focusing on? Love. I am love. I am manifesting love. I am birthing love. I am generating love. I am receiving love. So if some hate comes in, turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Don't be distracted. And so this came up. So part of it, and this is why I feel like why I got the visual of Taylor and Trump, is that, let's say Taylor, she's a musician and she makes her money, her well-being is made and generated through writing music, right? And so if part of that game in the journey is I have to kind of be in conflict with something, and then I'll have something to write about, that will be a journey for her to learn that at some level, if she only looks for peace and love, she'll have more of that to see, to talk about, to write about. But I feel there's a journey for people sometimes where they expect those players and those messed up boys, and then here they come and we're going to have some material.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's an interesting perspective of nothing's good or bad, but everything's a part of our own evolution. And if we're not having peace, like if we feel we're angry and maybe internalizing our anger and hate about something, but then someone comes along, they're external, like projecting, they have no problems letting us know. And then we could be like, fuck that, that's wrong. But we're both doing it. So energetically, we came together. And that's where I feel like a big part of ascension is forgiveness of self and other. And then coming to that place where we can let it go and just let people be humans.
Yeah.
And not hold them hostage to something, like, you know, whatever I did or didn't do in 1995. I don't need to be held hostage there.
Yes.
You know, and we don't need to hold ourselves hostage there.
Yeah.
Or hold others hostage. Every one of us has an opportunity in this now to rebirth ourselves and to become better and newer and more aligned, higher aligned self.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I feel like until humanity understands that, they won't encourage healing in themselves or others. They won't even believe it's possible. They'll literally, I've heard people say, like, if you've done this, there's no way you're going to hell. And because we buy into that collectively and agree that if you do a certain thing, you're going to hell, then we would create a version of that, an experience of hell for ourselves or the other. And so really it's understanding that we all have the power to create a hell on earth experience or a heaven on earth experience in this now. Through, are we showing up as love or as hate, as anger, as jealousy, as, you know, someone that's harassing others, judgmental.
Yeah.
And if we are doing it silently or out loud, we're vibrationally kind of drawing things in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Anything you want to say about that? That was like my moment.
Deep shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
like, let me process.
I gotta process it a little bit, but I think it's a good reminder, because sometimes I will get caught up in like some of the social media posts and, you know, and then I'm like hating on someone internally. And then I'm like, well.
And then if you see someone hating out loud, you're like, what a fucker.
I know.
Look at them hating out loud. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm hating.
I'm like, wait a
I'm
minute.
hating quietly while they courageously hate out loud.
Yeah.
But maybe we should neither one be hating.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but it's a great awareness.
Yeah.
I feel like Spirit wants us to talk about that on here so people can look into that shadow in themselves. Because if you do want to walk around and act like you're super sweet or super cool, calm, collected man, either feminine or masculine, but then internally you're a little demon monster.
Yeah.
There's a reason you're attracting demon monsters because it's like you're just meeting pieces of yourself.
Yes.
So this is part of what I feel like I'm healing and forgiving some people. I know, like the person I was talking about last year that I had released, I know that person had a lot of trauma when they were younger. I know my heart was totally in the right place, doing everything I could to help encourage and inspire them and to guide them out of the dark labyrinth of their mind. But I know that they were committed to that place, and they did not want to choose heaven on earth. They were like miserable in hell, and they wanted me to be miserable in hell with them. And I feel like that was a big thing for me of discernment as a healer too. Like I learned a lot about it. Can you help heal anyone if they want to be?
Right.
Can you heal anyone? I'm not healing anyone. First of all, I'm guiding people.
Right.
I am bringing in messages and awareness. But if a human doesn't want the awareness, they will turn and run from it. It's kind of, I look at it like I could offer medicine and you throw it in my face and run down to the neighborhood bar and go buy poison. And you do it a lot because you're addicted to the poison. And if I sit back and feel bad about that, like, let's say you're dating an alcoholic, like that could really, you could internalize that and feel like, oh, why am I not worthy? No, don't get it fucked up. You are worthy.
Yeah.
Don't let their unworthiness of themselves and how they're sabotaging themselves become something you're carrying.
Yeah.
Where you're now questioning if you're worthy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that person's lost to addiction.
Yep.
No matter what it is. So I don't know. That's just like the process of seeing that. And I can forgive him. And I forgave him already. But I feel like this was a deep part in this breathwork release of just releasing that fear he brought to my door. Like he really brought a lot of weird energy and like tried to make me feel paranoid and scared. And I feel like saying this out loud on this podcast is very empowering for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like part of what that energy tries to do is silence you and make you afraid and try to scare you into submission and silence, or fucking scare you into invisibility.
Yes.
You know, where, oh, I'm going to just traumatize you and torment you until you kill yourself.
Yeah.
And it's awful because ultimately people who would be doing that, it's because they don't feel at peace within themselves, right? Otherwise, if you felt at peace within yourself, there is no way, I promise you, you would ever wish harm on another or encourage them to hurt themselves.
Right.
But if you're not at peace with yourself and you feel like you're nothing and they're lots of somethingness, like their shine fucking triggers you because you don't feel so good, that's the people that really project. And this is where we give it a lot of labels in society. Like we can say sociopath or psychopath or narcissist. There's all these titles, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's a soul not at peace with itself that instead of choosing to do the things needed to heal and be at peace with themselves, like do some somatic breath work, do some meditation, maybe start doing some yoga, go on a run, eat healthier, spend time alone and turn off the news. There's so many things we can do. Be creative, go and paint a painting, you know, but things we can do to actually help us heal and release the past. And if we don't do that, then we want to try to go dump it on people and cause harm. And then it really doesn't help anyone. So back to Trump now, every person that's been a part of that journey that's allowed him to get away with the things he's gotten away with and no one's holding him accountable, all are a part of the karma, every one of them. And so ultimately, even me speaking up is me not being a part of that karma.
Yeah.
And me saying he is suffering as much as everyone he's causing suffering for, because he is doing everything he can do and no one is challenging him. no one is giving him a consequence. It's like a child throwing a tantrum and they're acting insane, but then you give them a fucking pony.
Yeah.
And the last thing they need is a goddamn pony. They need to go sit and process and regulate their emotions and realize that it's not cool to go smack your friend in the face or steal something from your friend or knock your sister down the stairs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But every single one of these energies, spirit is showing like there's consequences, and we all, it's pieces of ourselves. So like if that was my child, would I just sit back and let it happen? If they let that happen when they're little and it never gets addressed, everyone around gets intimidated. Like, oh God, what do we do? And I feel like right now what's happening in our country is so many humans are intimidated that they don't, it's like no sudden moves. It's like everybody around him feels like they're living with a psychopathic narcissist.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, no sudden moves. It's better to be on his side than against him. No, it's better to have consequences. If he's breaking laws that you want every citizen to follow, and if any other citizen broke them, they would be impeached or they would go to prison. That is what he needs. He needs time in a cell to sit with himself and think about what he's done.
Yes.
And that's all I got to say about that. And I don't say that from a punishment place. I say that from a very, as much as you would, am I punishing my child to remove my child from the playground when they're hurting children? No, that's love for my child and for the children.
Yeah.
Am I punishing that person to remove him from society that he's hurting? No, it's love for him and it's love for society.
Yeah.
He needs removed. He needs to go in time out and sit with himself for real. And the last thing he needs is to have any more people kissing his ass and making him feel like he is untouchable and that anything he says goes.
Yeah.
Because you guys are going to literally, the humans that go along with this are going to be a part of creating a dark agenda, kind of like Star Wars. It's the way it's the way, like, you know, how Darth Vader, his whole energy is death gripping and control, and everyone's scared to challenge him. But he's so fucking lost. Like, he is not in alignment. He does not know what he's doing. He's actually afraid, and his fear took him over, is why he's done bad things.
Yeah.
Now he's just using that fear and throwing it around everywhere he goes to intimidate everyone. And it's not good. It's not good for humanity.
No.
So, and that's one human. But we got to look deeper in our collective. Why are we protecting that in ourselves? Shadow places? Because a lot of freaking even women trying to protect him.
Yes.
And pretend like it's all fine what he's doing. And there's a lot of shadow coming up for humans, from abuse, rape, to, you know, corruption, all of it that people have done in their own ways, and they don't want to face that in themselves, so they won't challenge it in this loud one.
Yep.
And so really it's an invitation for everyone to face that, and he needs a consequence. 2222.
Woo!
That's what I got to say about that. Anything you want to share or add? And I say this from love. I truly don't hate him. I can see the wounded child in him. I can see the pieces that he needs to integrate, and I can see how the people around him have not helped him.
Yeah.
They have not helped him heal. And he's certainly not looking like a man who's eager for healing. But in those cases, just like if it was a toddler on the playground harming others, throwing rocks, you would remove the toddler. If a toddler ran out with a fucking AK-47 and started firing, you would remove the toddler and the gun from the toddler. You wouldn't give him a whole fucking army.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So these are important things we need to look at in our culture, in our country. Yes. And in our culture, our society as humans. Yeah. Because we're not the only country who has this shit happening.
Right.
With little tyrants running the countries that are children that should not have any freaking means to nuclear weapons.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, you are correct. There are a lot of them.
Spirit, I told them the message. I'm like, whoo! That came through.
I could feel that coming in hot.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not a punishment. It's about boundaries. And as humanity, if we don't have boundaries and we don't honor and do what we know protects ourselves and others, self-love, and there's no boundaries, there will be consequences for that. And then people want to sit back and blame God. And God the whole time is like, I have been coming through so many humans telling you the messages.
Yeah.
I am in you when every part of you says you should do something and then you don't from your fear. Every time that you feel like you should say no, but you say yes. It's the cowardice. That's like what in that breath work we were moving through, to release that feeling where we become cowards to really standing in our power. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we end up becoming fearless because we know what we're really here for. And we stand on it. So I do feel there's hope for our country. I feel there's hope for Trump for healing if he wants to look there. I'm not seeing signs that that's what he's wanting, but sometimes when a criminal doesn't want to look at their behavior, they go to prison and they sit in a cell, and trust me, they think about what they've done. But he needs that. He needs to be removed from this position. And our country needs to reevaluate their whole structure and foundation of what democracy really is about, and stop pretending that we have it when we have nothing but an illusion.
Yes.
It's time for us to actually stand 10 toes down on what matters, every individual. And that doesn't mean being a redneck with a gun going around trying to intimidate people and waving your gun around. That's ignorance.
Yeah.
That's another child that needs to have their gun taken away, and they need to go sit in the corner and think about what they're doing. Because it's, you know what I'm saying? It's just the intimidation factor, the energetics. It's insane. It's literally insanity.
Yes.
Like in Avatar, let's see if your insanity can be cured. And let's see, America. Let's see, humanity.
Yeah. Because
we all have an invitation to come back to love.
Yes. And we can do it.
We can, and we are doing it. Some of us are actively and out loud doing it.
Yes.
And that's our invitation. So I'm going to leave off on that. Anything you want to say? Nope. All right. Well, humanity, we love you. Now go sit and think about what you've done. Just kidding. No, but truly, go sit and kind of feel into things that you know are heavy and that you need to release, that you need to look at, to understand, process, to integrate. And if you need help with that, contact me. It's my specialty. But you will have to do your work. There's nobody going to come and rescue you from your actual work and self-awareness. And let's collectively hold a vision of aligned leadership in this country. And you know what? I'm feeling it's time for some female leaders, because that's what I happen to be. And we do know what the fuck is up. So let's hold that vision. Let's stop being scared of females in power, because it just might be the healing we've all been praying for. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to our most recent podcast of Mindfulness Mastery 888, The Real, Raw, and Truthful. For those who would like to book any one-on-one sessions, you can contact me at mindfulnessmastery888.com. A gentle warning on working in higher realms of consciousness. As you are listening to our podcast, you may feel or experience tingles, dizziness, or tiredness. This is your body giving you guidance that it needs to relax. It's not a bad thing, but we do encourage you to honor your body and get yourself in a position where you can relax and receive these codes of consciousness. I thank you for taking a moment to subscribe, like, share, and follow, and come back and check out our newest content. Have a blessed and peaceful day.